puppies made it to a week old, so they're out of the woods. Let me tell you, we had a horrific week. At least I really had a horrific week, and so did Sparkles. Puppies, not so much. They were fine. They were born via C-section, and Sparkles, this was her second litter. First litter, she only had one big puppy. That big puppy came out no problem. These four did not, because this one was in there sideways, right up front. Yes, you were, weren't you? You were in there sideways, causing problems. So, it was, of course, at like 5 o'clock in the morning when I needed help, and I couldn't get it in time, because that's what happens when you're in an emergency. It's a long story, but the emergency vets, there's no expediency about them when it comes to C-sections. They could care less about these puppies. In their eyes, these guys are already dead, and they don't care. They just don't care. If somebody else comes in that's more of an emergency, if you've already been there for an hour, sorry, you can wait longer while these guys are still dying. It's horrible. I've sat in there for hours, okay? So I'd rather wait on my real vet, and she was available, quite early. So, but still, couldn't get in there as quick as I wanted to. And they came out, and they were just barely breathing. And it's not because of the anesthetic, because she uses propofol. And every time that they use propofol, they breathe just like they're born naturally. It doesn't cross the placenta barrier. So anyhow, it took the vet tech and I about a half hour to get them to where they were no longer like a whitish color. They weren't blue, but they were like a whitish color, and then they finally turned pink. So I had to sit on the couch for like 4 or 5 days, making sure they ate, holding them on Mama. She hardly had any milk. And then Mama got a fever, had to go back to emergency, get her blood work tested. She was low on calcium, and she had a slight fever. And anyhow, she's okay now, and everybody's okay. So I'm just glad that's over with, and they're all four okay. Hard work pays off. So if somebody didn't have experience in what was going on here, they probably wouldn't have made it. So experience pays off too. So let's talk about who we got here. They're all long coats, okay? This one is a Merle little boy. And this one is a Merle little boy, but not a blue Merle, a red Merle. And you still got some little afterbirth or something up there that Mama didn't clean up, and I'm not going to do it because you're too little. And this one here is a Merle female, red, and I'm pretty confident that I'm keeping her, unless she's too small. So we'll see what happens there. And then this one is definitely small. She's the smallest one. She's predicting to weigh under 3 right now, but we'll see what happens. She is a black and white. She might be spoken for. I have a lady that really wants a short coat, black and white, really tiny. She's been waiting a while, but she said the long coat isn't out of the question, so we'll see what happens with her if she stays tiny. So if this one stays tiny, she might be gone. If this one becomes tiny, she might be gone. I mean, if she doesn't stay tiny, she will stay. And these two I'm watching because I've wanted a Merle boy for a while, and I'm going to keep one, but I'm not sure which one. So they're not going on my website. We're going to see what happens with them, and then I'll put them on, whichever ones are available. And that'll be when they're like probably 4 weeks or so, maybe 5. But I sure hope you're going to be. Look at that face on her. Oh, I love her. Please don't be too small. Pretty, 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 please. Okay, so anyhow, let me get them back on the heating pad. Oh, and that's another thing. Poor Mama had to be on a heating pad, because to make sure this puppy survive, I keep him on a heating pad. in a big crate. And, you know, the heating pad's not super hot, but when you have a fever, you don't want to be on a heating pad. So I was having to, like, not keep her in there much and supplement feedings on my lap. And also, she decided she wanted to try to rip open her stitches. And I had to put a cone on her head. So this poor thing had a cone on her head. She was trying to get over a fever, trying to feed her babies. But I was very happy when she started to eat her canned human baby food. She'd been gobbling it up. And now she's turned out to be like real spoiled, and she doesn't want anything, but she won't eat anything else. She just wants her canned or jarred human baby food. Yeah. So I gotta deal with that right now. She's a little cutie pie, let me tell you. All right, bye.